It is November 30th in the NBA, the final day of November, and my 4 best bets in the NBA are on the way, plus a play at the end that is plus 560 odds that I think has a chance to cash. Now let's end the month strong, but first let's recap another winning day. That makes it 5 out of our last 6 days that we won some money, and our best bet of the day, Nikola Vucevic cashes for the 3rd straight time. Now we took his over 16.5 points. You didn't even have to sweat that one out. He cashed in the first half, had a big day. Now Miles Turner under 7.5 rebounds. That bet voided, so not much you can do there. OKC team total under. Come on, it was a no sweat bet under 107.5 points. You can't put a line that high for the OKC Thunder. You can't spell thunder without the word under. Robert Covington under 7.5 points. Yeah, he had as many points as you and I. A big goose egg. We love to see that. Now we added D'Angelo Russell under 6.5 assists. Yeah, we added that, and he hit that over in the first half. Bad read on my end. And Miami -7. I was hoping the injury news would play a little bit in our favor, but it went the exact opposite way. Butler and Hero both announced out. Jokic in. Not much you can do about that. Hopefully you guys have been having a good run for us, been tailing some of these bets, at least some of the analysis. And our last play of the day yesterday, our $14,000 parlay. Oh man, look at it. It's brutal. It was brutal, man. We did it so close. 3 out of the 4 legs cashed, man. Nikola Vucevic, 25 and a win, plus 800 value cashes alone. Christian Wood plus his 15 plus rebounds and a win cashes. Rudy Gobert 16 plus rebounds cashes and a win. And Kristaps double and a win. Man, I saw someone tweeted at me. They DM'd me their ticket with the other 3 legs. Congrats to them. They won like $1,500. Would have been so close. A $15 parlay on that would have been paid out almost $4,000. We're going to keep getting after it. We're going to do another $15,000 parlay giveaway at 15,000 subscribers. So make sure you smash that subscribe button. We're closing in. We're only 800 subscribers away. We appreciate you guys. And we have a big announcement to make. We'll get into the plays in a second. But the big announcement, live streams are back. Now, if you're an OG fan, we haven't live streamed since April 1st. That was the last time we live streamed, and we're back this Wednesday, so get excited. And we have a sponsor. We'll be live at 6 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday, answering whatever questions you got. We'll be live for about 30 minutes. I'll leave the stream up afterwards, but still, we are sponsored by Dimers. Dimers, if you know what they are, they're an awesome website. We'll talk a little bit more of that on tomorrow's video, but we appreciate them for sponsoring us. We'll be doing a live stream every single Wednesday. But without further ado, not the best slate in the world Tuesday, but we're going to get after it, and we have my 4 favorite plays. And we're going to start with my best bet of the day, Scotty Barnes, over 10.5 rebounds plus assists, -130 on FanDuel. So I understand people don't have rebounds or an assist line. Some people don't have the combined one. So if you want, you can skip forward to my next play. But I would normally lean towards his assists, and we'll talk about it in a second. But when you look at Barnes, as a whole, he's averaging 8.3 rebounds per game, 3.3 assists per game, for a total 11.6 rebounds plus assists per game. All we need is 11. So he could have even an off night a little bit, and we'll still cash this. Now, Scotty Barnes has hit this over in 12 of 19 games so far this season, 63% of the time. So pretty good. And boy, oh boy, does he like to tease you, because he gets on the hook a ton. Now, he's finished on the hook on 10 exactly rebounds plus assists 6 times. So that means he's had 10 or more rebounds and assists in 18 of 19 games so far this season, which is unreal. But all we need is him to get an extra one, and I think he can do that tonight against the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, these 2 teams played just a couple nights ago on November 24th, about a week ago. Yeah, Mr. Scotty Barnes, he had 12 combined, so cash it in that game. And he actually has cashed this over in 5 of the last 6 games. So he's been on a pretty good tear. And why is that? Because OG Anunoby has been out, and OG Anunoby will again be out today. Now, in the 6 games that Anunoby has missed, you see Scotty Barnes playing 34.7 minutes per game, and he's averaged 12.7 rebounds plus assists in those games. He's also been cashing his PRA line, shooting a little bit more without Khem Birch as well. I could see him having a big game today. He matches up really well against this Grizzlies backcourt or frontcourt, and when they bring off Brandon Clark off the bench, Jaren Jackson Jr. as well, I'm riding with another big workload for Scotty Barnes. Take his over 10.5 rebounds plus assists, or take his assist probably at 3.5. Let's move on to another one, then we'll get into my 1 spread pick of the day. DeAndre Ayton, I'm taking this under 11.5 rebounds, -124 on FanDuel. Now, if you're a longtime follower, you know we have a love-hate relationship with Ayton, and it's not necessarily that he's not talented. I think he's probably one of the more talented big men in the NBA. It's just some games he doesn't try. Some games he just comes into the facility, says, all right, I'll take my game check, and then he just pieces out. He does that all the time, and I'm hoping he does that tonight, even though it is a big matchup of arguably the 2 of the 3 hottest teams in the NBA. Obviously, the hottest team in the NBA, the Houston Rockets, winners of 3 straight. But then you got the Phoenix Suns, on I think a 16-game winning streak, and then obviously the Golden State Warriors, who are, I think, 18-2. One of the biggest games on the slate. But Ayton, I'm just hoping he comes in and just, I don't feel like playing tonight, because he's done that. Now, you look at this matchup, the Warriors currently allowing just the 7th fewest rebounds per game to opposing teams as a whole, but to centers alone, they're only allowing 13.66 rebounds per game, the 5th fewest in the NBA. Now you'd think, well, this is the Warriors team. They're small. They start Kevon Looney, but they don't really have a guy coming off the bench. They have Nemanja Bjelica coming off the bench. Ayton should be able to feast. But I think that's the wrong kind of analysis for this one. The Warriors have really kind of held down centers, really boxed out pretty well. I think Ayton will be struggling in this one. Now, if you look at Ayton as a whole this season, he's averaging 11.5 rebounds per game. So exactly on this line. And he's actually only gone under in 6 of 14 games. So, but I think sometimes matchup trumps everything. Like I said, the Golden State Warriors have been pretty good against opposing centers. Now, in eight career games against the Golden State Warriors, he's only gone over in 3 of them. So gone under in 5 of 8 games against the Warriors. And that includes 4 of his last 5 that he's actually gone under. And my last little nugget is that in 20 games this season for the Warriors, only 4 players have hit this over, had 12 plus rebounds against them. That's not just centers, but there's also power forwards, even point guards. Those guys, there's only been 4 players in 20 games that have had 12 plus rebounds against the Warriors. They've been Andre Drummond, one of the best rebounders of all time, the man, Scotty Barnes, Ed Davis, and Jonas Valanciunas. The proof is in the pudding, and I don't think it's that easy to get 12 plus rebounds against the Warriors. So Ayton averages 18.7 rebound chances per game. He's got to cash 64% of those. I just don't think he gets it. Give me Ayton under 11.5 rebounds. Sharper Bucks have this at like minus 164. Getting that great value at minus 124 on FanDuel or minus 130 on a lot of other books. Now let's move on to my one spread pick of the day. I'm taking the Blazers, minus 8.5, minus 110 on BetMGM. Now, this line's 8.5 on BetMGM, but 9.5 on most other books. So I like it at both of them, 9.5 or even 10 points. Now, here we have the Pistons traveling on the road to take on the Blazers, and that's the main reason we are here, because the Blazers, they've been bad. They've been 8-13 against the spread, the second worst in the NBA. The only team worse than them against the spread, the Los Angeles Lakers, are taking on the Kings today. But what's heavily weighed them down is being on the road. They're 1-10 against the spread on the road this season, by far the worst in the NBA. The Road Hawks are still chilling. They're right next to them at 2-9, but still 1-10 against the spread on the road, but 7-3 against the spread at home, 5th best in the NBA. The Pistons, on the contrary, 5-5 against the spread on the road this season. Their average margin of victory or defeat would be 11 points. And so you look at it in the 2 games last year versus the Blazers, they lost by 15 on the road, so with that same exact matchup today, and they lost by 23 at home versus the Blazers. Now, this is obviously over the last 4 games at the Blazers, they've lost by an average, they've lost all 4, but lost by an average of 9 points, so cap left for Vegas and the sportsbook setting a nice line, nice, very sharp line, but still, I think the Blazers bounce back. They got blown out by the Jazz yesterday. I think they bounce back. Robert Covington do a big game because, like I said, he only scores points at home, and I think maybe he scores some points today because they didn't score nothing yesterday. We'll ride with the Blazers. I think they win by this game by 15 to 20 points. We'll take them minus 8.5, maybe even 9.5, depending on your book. Now, final play of the day before getting that plus 560 play. Steven Adams, under 15.5 PRAs, points, rebounds, plus assists combined, minus 120 on DraftKings. Now, this is a verbatim copy and paste from November 24th. As we took these 2 teams played, Grizzlies versus Raptors, and we took this identical play. I could probably go back and just, save myself some time. Go back in the editing and just boom, copy and paste and put the same exact video up. We were on a different shirt, but same exact video in this one. And it's because it's the identical play. The only thing different, the line has changed 2 points. It used to be 17.5, now it's 15.5. And truthfully, I don't care. I'll take the under regardless. The Raptors, like I've said in the last video, in November 24th, almost a week ago, terrible matchup for Steven Adams. They don't have a traditional center that Adams can guard. And so that leads him, normally they're starting Pascal Siakam at the 5, but they'll probably start Precious Achiuwa, and he'll come in. But still, you look at Adams, he can't guard either of these guys. They're way too athletic, way too fast, and Adams will be out of place. And that will show again today. Can't even regard their backup center, Chris Boucher, coming off the bench. And this leads to fewer and fewer minutes for Steven Adams. Now, Steven Adams as a whole, his minutes have just absolutely taken a plummet. He hasn't had more than 24 minutes over his last 5 games. That includes 21 or less in 4 of them. In their last matchup, the same matchup, the bad matchup, it showed he had just 2 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists for 10 total PRAs. The same kind of outcome should show again today. In his last 5 games, he's gone under in 4 of them. The only game he went over was because he had 12 rebounds against the Sacramento Kings, who allow the most rebounds per game to opposing centers. Not a surprise there. I'll ride with the under 15.5 PRAs. All we have to really survive is probably 15 to 20 minutes tonight. I think that we'll see a lot more Brandon Clark off the bench because he matches up better with Scotty Barnes, Precious Achiuwa, even Pascal Siakams of the world. So I'll ride with the under 15.5 PRAs. Now, here are the 2 final plays I considered. Now, one of them not juiced. LeBron over 6.5 assists, minus 120 on FanDuel. Now, I just don't know why this line's 6.5. Now LeBron, FanDuel only book with LeBron's line on it. It's a little bit weird. It's a little, and he is questionable today with his abdomen injury. Maybe they rest him, but he set this over in 5 straight games versus the Kings. Maybe we add it a little bit later. He had 11 assists the last time these two teams played. Granted, that was a triple overtime game. Now the one that we're talking about, plus 560 value, James Harden, triple-double in a win. Now, if you want to be a little bit more conservative, probably go with the 10-plus assists in a win. He's had 10-plus assists, I think, in 3 straight games. And I don't see the Knicks really beating him. They're starting Alec Burks at point guard. Come on. Alec Burks at point guard is not a recipe for success. Sorry, Tom Thibodeau. But I do think you see James Harden, 10-plus assists in a win is plus 190. Triple-double in a win is plus 560. I think that both of those have a chance to cash, and I do think the Brooklyn Nets will win tonight at home, minus 6.5 favorites. I think they'll get it done against my New York Knicks. Now, those are my 4 official plays. Those 2 other guys, we'll see if we add them as the day goes on, but I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Like I said, we've been on a good stretch, 5 of the last 6 days. We've won some money. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Click that like button down below. We really appreciate all you guys' love and support. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.